Hello everybody. Today I want to share with you how I made this beautiful necklace. Well, this is a complete spring cleaning project and it doesn't require much of materials. You can use any side beads to do the embellishment part in the necklace and some 8 seed beads to do the inner side of the necklace. This is a 20-inch long neck piece. If you would rather make it a small one, it's totally up to you, but I would suggest make it longer because this kind of necklace really looks beautiful when it's worn in a longer way. So this is a beautiful project. I love it. I totally love it. I designed this neck piece for one of my customers in the shop, and I thought why not share it with you guys. So I hope this time my video is going to be clear, and this is the neck piece that I want to show you. Let's get started with the list of materials. You will need 10 grams of size 8 seed beads. This is a shiny Irish color that I'm using. You will need rondelle crystals. I don't know the exact count of the beads because it's totally up to you if you're using one type of bead or 2 different kinds or 3 different kinds. It's totally up to you. In a random way, if I say it's like for a 20-inch long necklace that I made like this, I used 8mm rondelle crystals and I used like 64 of them. So if you will use a 6mm, this is a 6mm, it would take like somewhat 80 to 84 or something. So it's totally up to the bead size and the different kinds of beads that you want to use in your necklace. Then also you will need scissors, a size 10 beading needle, and some beading thread. So let's get started by doing a ladder stitch. A ladder stitch is a beautiful stitch. It's one of my most favorite and easy to do stitches. The ladder stitch is really fun, so I'll show you how to do. Pick up 4 seed beads, 8 seed beads. Let me just put some of my beads here. Again, I forgot to get my bead mat, so forget it. Anyways, you pick up 4 8 seed beads. Drop them down to the end of your thread, holding on to a good 6 to 7 inches of tail. You go through 2 of your seed beads, only 2, see? In this way. Now pull tight. And when you pull tight, you'll see the first or the last 2 beads that we had here, they came up here. So we just went through in this direction. So these 2 beads came here. We need to just tighten them up, so I'm going to go through those 2 beads. In this way. So my thread is exiting out of here. Oops. My thread is coming out of here in the downward side. So I'm going to pick up 2 more seed beads. I'll go into the same 2 beads in an upward to downward motion or in a circular manner so that my 2 seed beads sit exactly next to the former 2 seed beads. Again, my thread is coming out of the same direction, so I'll go through the last 2 beads that I just added in a downward to upward motion. I'll do it again. I'll pick up 2 8 seed beads. My thread is coming out of here, the top side. So what I will do is I'll go through in a circular motion into the same 2 seed beads. If you notice again, my thread is coming out of the same seed bead. So in order to tighten my last 2 seed beads, I'll go through them in an upward to downward motion in this way. So now I'm again ready to start my next set of ladders. Again, I'm going to pick up 2 more seed beads, go through the 2 beads that I just added, or my last ladder, in a circular fashion or from an upward to downward motion. I'm going to pull them tight so they sit in a beautiful way next to each other. And just because my thread is coming out of the same direction, I'll just go through my last 2 beads in order to start my next round. I'll show you one more time. Pick up 2 8 seed beads. Now look at this. My thread is coming out of the top bead of the last set. So I picked up 2 beads and I'm going to go in a circular fashion. So if I'm coming out of the top, I'll go from the down to the top so that my thread again comes out of the top in this way. Okay? So now that I'm coming out of the top, I'll go down the last 2 beads that I just added in an upward to downward motion. Why? Because I am coming out of the top. So if I'm coming out of the top, I'll go from top to down. If I'm coming out of the down, I'll go down and up. Okay? So this is what your ladder must look like. I'll show you one more time. 2 more beads. Now my thread is coming out of the downward side, so I'll go from the up to down and pull tight. And when my thread is coming out of the down side, in order to my thread is coming out of the down side, so in order to go up or straighten my last 2 beads, I'll go through them again from a downward to upward motion because my thread was initially coming out of the down side. So this is how you do your ladder stitch. Okay, I actually went a step ahead and made a long long piece of ladder stitch. Okay, we will do the embellishment part together. Before that, I would like to show you how I made the loop and how I added the clasp. If I teach you how to do the loop, you would understand how to attach your clasp. So look at here. Supposedly, this is my last ladder. It depends on how many ladders or how many stitches you want to do. Supposedly this is my last ladder. What I will do is I'll pick up 10 to 12 seed beads. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 beads. I'll drop them down in this way, and I'll go through the last set of my ladder and pull tight. I just formed a round loop of beads. I'll go through the beads several times until my work is secure, and then I'll just move up to the other side. If you don't want to do that, you could just stitch in your work here and start off the embellishment and do the other side next time. So then what I will show you on this side how you add your clasp. I don't have an extra clasp, so I'll just show you how to do that. Okay, supposedly this is your other side where you want to add in your clasp. What you'll do is into your thread you'll add 2 8/0s, your clasp, and 2 8/0s, and then you'll just move around in a circular fashion into the same beads 2 to 3 times, just the way we did this. Instead of putting all the beads, we're just putting 2 seed beads, a lobster claw, and 2 seed beads, and just going through the beads 2 to 3 times to reinforce your work. And that is how you do your loop and your clasp. So Maybe in the next tutorial or somewhere I'll show you how to do that, or if you already know, then it's good for you. Okay, so let me just put these things aside. Now it's time for the embellishment part. I did the loop in this way. It's actually a bit not so nice. And on the other side, I added a clasp. You see, I just did 1/8 my lock and 1/8, and I just went through the last ladder two to three times so that my work was secure. Now my thread is coming out of this side. What I did was I went through 2 to 3 ladders. I have a knot here which is not so visible in the camera. I have a knot here, and then I went through 2 of my ladders, and so that my thread was coming out of the 4th ladder. So if this was 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So my thread is initially coming out of the 4th ladder. You want to give some space before you add in the embellishment. So this is what you will do. Okay, I have a needle attached to my thread. This is the easiest part of the whole thing. If you have seen my last video where I did a brick bicone earring, this is going to be super easy for you. If you haven't, actually this is a matching version of the earrings that I did. So I'll just put the link down below in the description box so that you can watch the matching earring to go with this necklace. Okay, so my thread is coming out of here. Let me get my 6mm rondelle crystals to the side, or maybe some of them out. Yeah. So my thread is coming out of the 4th ladder. 1, 2, 3, and 4th. Can you see? Yeah, my thread is coming out of the 4th ladder. So what I will do is, I'll pick up a rondelle, an 8/0, and a rondelle. Rondelle, 8/0, rondelle. My thread is coming out of the 4th ladder. I'll skip 1 ladder, go through the next set. I'll just skip 1 and go through the beads, through the 2 beads. This is what we did in the brick bicone earring. The brick bicone earrings, I used bicones, but here I'm using rondelles. You could always use bicones if you wish. Okay. Now it came down. I was up through the 4th one. I left the 5th one, and I came down the 6th one. I'll leave the 7th one, or I'll just go through the 7th one in this way. I'll come down the 8th. I'll go up through the 9th. So again, I'm going to tell you what I did. I was up through the 4th one. I picked up the rondelle, an 8/0, and a rondelle. I skipped the 5th one. I went through in a downward motion through the 6th one. Okay, I was up through the 4th. I left the 5th. I went into the 6th. I came up the 7th in an upward motion. I came down the 8th in a downward motion, and I came up through the 9th set here. Again, I will be picking up a rondelle, an 8/0, and a rondelle. I'm coming out of the 9th. I'll skip the 8th, and I'll actually go through the 7th in this way. I'm going to come up through the same 8th in between the crystals and through the 9th, and I'll come up through the 10th. You could have easily added the beads, but by doing this, you are just pulling your work together. See? My beads are sitting beautifully on top of each other. Now from the next time onwards, we are just skipping a set in between and adding crystals all over. So if my bead is coming out of here, I'm on the 10th one right now. I'll pick up a crystal, an 8 and a crystal. I'll skip the 11th and I'll go through. My thread is coming out the 10th, this one, 10th. I'll skip the 11th and I'll go down the 12th. In this way. I'll go up the 12th, I'll pick up a rondelle, an 8 and a rondelle. I'll skip a ladder. I'm coming out of here. I'll skip one and go through the next two. In this way. Okay? I'll go up to the next side. I will continue to do this until the length I want my crystals to sit. If you want to skip one bead in between, or when I have skipped like one bead in between, you could always skip 2 or 3 sets in between if you don't like so much of embellishment. It's totally up to you what you want to do with your neck piece. I like my neck piece to sit really close to each other, just like in the necklace. I really like them to just dangle in their own space, so I just pull them really nice and tightly together. If you don't like that, or if you don't like so much of embellishment, you could always skip 2 to 3 ladders in between so that you have more space in between the beads. So you do that and show you how it looks at the end of the video. Okay, I'm at the end of finishing off my neck piece. So I'm going to show you the last 2 addition of the rondelle. My thread is coming out of here. So I'll pick up a rondelle, an 8 and a rondelle. I'll skip one. I'll skip a set and go through the next set. I'll come up through the set that is exactly next to my work, and the last rondelle, and then I'll just skip one and go through the next 2 in this way. So I have some space left before before the lobster claw. At this point here, I'm going to tie a couple of good half-hitch knots just in between the thread bridges. Yeah. Go through some of my beads so that my work is really nice. If you want, you could always go through the beads if you have longer thread and reinforce your whole work all over again. I'll do that. Just going through the beads. If you want, you could always go through the crystals as well. Just go through and through, and then at the end, just done. So this is what my necklace must look like. Really sparkly and beautiful. If you do this with one color, I noticed it looks really nice. See? It's really awesome, isn't it? Let me put my work aside. and show you one last time how beautiful it looks. So this is one. This is a longer one because I want my necklaces to be longer, and this is the other one. So this is a multicolored one, and this is one just one color. So you could do so many different variations with your designs. Use different kinds of beads to make it look more beautiful and petite, and make it, it's really doesn't take much of your materials. It's like 20 to 45 minutes or less than 45 minutes just to make one neck piece. So make sure that you do this, and if you make any of these, you could always post it on my Facebook page. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and please subscribe or comment on my videos. I really love your comments. So that's all for now. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye bye.